Vaping. It's not like heroin, cocaine, or other narcotics. It's legal at age 18. It's sold over the counter. In fact, vaping will not kill you or impair you. Surprisingly, experts say there are some actual benefits to vaping. So why is vaping still an important topic to explore? It's because of the mystery that surrounds vaping. What exactly is it? What's in the vape juice? Is it a gateway drug? Are there potential health risks? Revealing the truth about vaping is what this story is about. And the first question that must be answered is a simple one. What is vaping?
Vaping was invented in 2003 by a Chinese pharmacist named Han Lick. He smoked 4 packs a day. Both of his parents died from cancer. He took a United States patent from like the 60s and redid it and came out with the first e-cig. It was invented to be an alternative to smoking.
You know, vaping, at least in the beginning, was sold as a way to get people off of, smoking cigarettes.
While its initial creation may have been to combat nicotine addiction, our survey of 377 students reveals that 134, or 35%, have used a vape or e-cig, for various reasons.
I vape because I like the buzz it gives me. The flavors that attracted me probably mint, mango, and cucumber.
I vape for the quick head rush. Tastes pretty good. Just seems what everyone's doing right now.
I originally started vaping because me and a group of friends wanted to do some smoke trick stuff, and then I quit for a while, and then when I wanted to quit cigs, I picked it back up.
Our administrators are aware of the popularity and the presence of vapes.
Right now, from a Southwestern Conference principal perspective, vaping has been an item that we have discussed at length this year. I believe it's more popular than what we as adults are observing.
Vaping has become a nationwide craze, and students in our survey say the number one reason they vape is to perform smoke tricks like they've seen online.
You do see where there are lots of tricks on YouTube that you can watch of people doing vaping, and that is a problem for the industry. And the industry has not been forceful enough. They're ones that have sponsored a lot of these events for the vaping tricks.
Just because of, the whole philosophy of that it's not a cigarette, and that the flavors make it safer.
One of the ways that they market it is because they have the different flavorings, and they have flavors that are marketed to young people like bubblegum, cherry, grape.
Along with flavors like berry blue, cinnamon bun, cookies and cream, root beer, cotton candy, and the list is endless, even though the legal age to buy a vape or e-cigarette in Ohio is 18. But this hasn't stopped underage students at Steele from obtaining vapes. Our survey of 326 minors shows that 57 own a vape. That's 17.5%. 29% of them got their vapes from an adult, and 8% weren't even ID'd when they purchased their vapes at a store. Online purchases are even easier.
There's too much access for kids online. There's no real way to prove your age online. Just click in a little box, you can get your dad's credit card or your mom's credit card or whatever and buy stuff online. Honestly, you should be able to come into a store and have somebody show you properly how to use it, what to use it, where to start.
Yes, there are some aspects of vaping that seem harmless, but don't be fooled into thinking that there aren't potential long-term health risks associated with vaping, because our experts say there are, especially since some vapes contain nicotine, the option that 1 in 4 students surveyed prefer.
Nicotine is still going to affect the lungs with all the chemicals and the tar that goes into the lungs. It's going to clog and really start putting a weight on the ability to breathe.
And then it activates some of the addiction centers in the brain to kind of give you, some people, a little bit of a sensation of a high initially. As your brain gets used to that, it starts to have to crave that and needs more and more of the nicotine, or having it on a regular basis.
Addiction is not something where it's a choice. It is something that folks who have addiction issues, nicotine actually happens to be one of the most strong addictive products.
But what about the more popular vapes that don't contain nicotine? Are they harmful? We discovered that just because a vape does not have nicotine doesn't mean it's harmless.
That anything that burns causes chemicals to go into your lungs and is still affecting your brain the exact same way.
Vapes that don't contain nicotine are harmful to the body still. If you think about it, cigarette smoking is bad because there's nicotine and there's smoke and all the toxins and tars and things like that that are contained in smoke. Vaping doesn't have those toxins or tars, but there are molecules in the vaping solution that are still being inhaled into your body and affecting the lungs.
But the most dangerous part of vaping may not be the vape juice itself. A study released just last month by Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health found the coils inside many of the vapes generate aerosols with potentially unsafe levels of lead, chromium, manganese, and/or nickel. And chronic inhalation of these metals has been linked to cancer. Which raises another question. If vaping could become an addiction, can it also be a gateway drug that leads to more powerful, dangerous, and addictive drug use?
We do see that addiction is a progressive disease. You do move from one thing to the next, especially a young person. If you're willing to try, e-cigarettes, then research shows that you're more willing to try vape marijuana and then move on to other types of substances.
It truly is. If you have never vaped before and someone says, hey, look, try this, it's cherry flavor, and they try it, well, then that's going to lead you into, as you get older, then you're going to have the whole availability of it that's everywhere. And it just increases and it just keeps going and just keeps going until you get to the age where now I'm 21. And guess what I'm going to do now? I'm not just going to vape or smoke a cigarette alone. Now I'm going to drink alcohol with it because now I can go buy it. And it's just a cycle.
So vaping can have a negative impact on your body over time and could be a potential gateway to other drugs. But when used properly, our experts say vaping can have some actual health benefits.
If used in a way to help someone to stop smoking, could be beneficial.
It simulates the act of smoking so well that people find it easier to stop smoking because you're inhaling something just like you do with cigarettes, and then you're exhaling something like you do just with cigarettes.
Whether there are some justifiable benefits or not, it doesn't change the fact that vapes are not permitted at Steele High School. In fact, they are treated the same as tobacco offenses, even if they don't contain nicotine.
You can be cited because many of the materials that are involved with vaping do hold nicotine, so that would fall under the cigarettes and tobacco aspect of the code of conduct, which would be anything from a Saturday school up to a suspension.
And that's what we know right now. Vaping is popular, it's potentially addictive, it can pose some health risks, and you can get in trouble for vaping. But the scariest part is what we may not know yet. Could vapes be just like cigarettes that were considered harmless or even beneficial in the 1950s and 60s, only later to learn that they are deadly?
So as tobacco, we know, yes, it causes lung cancer. We've got plenty of research since 1912, actually, about tobacco, but we just don't know about these products, which is quite frightening.
We haven't truly seen what the long-term effects are because it hasn't been around long enough. But I think it's pretty safe to assume that putting those things into the body, can certainly be detrimental.
Just how detrimental is still unknown. What will we find out in the years to come about vaping? Perhaps nothing. Maybe something much worse. Until then, the decision is yours. This is Peter Jorgis for Steel News Live.